All right, good morning to day 2 on this Rae Lakes trip. Whew, I've lost those legs like I've said before, but making it one step at a time. So the way this loop works is the first 2 days are pretty much uphill, and then you hit the pass, and then 2 days downhill. So we're just on that uphill stage, but it'll be worth it, and we'll just see what the day holds and what good Lord has in store for us. It's really neat. We're up above 9,000 feet, but it's so diverse. You come to this filled with ferns and wildflowers. It's just pretty amazing. Look at this. Some kind of berries right there. It's all new to these eyes. All right, so we are coming up to a little junction here, and you can see John Muir Trail north, and then etched in it says PCT. So let me tell you a little bit about that. All right, so what's unique about coming into those trails, it's pretty common for trails to overlap each other, piggyback, if you will. And so these are 2 major trails that the Rae Lakes Loop that we're hiking is going to go coincide with. And the one is the PCT, which is one of the 3 major long distance trails in North America or in the United States that make up the Triple Crown. You have the AT on the East Coast, the Appalachian Trail. You have the PCT, the Pacific Crest Trail on the West Coast. And then you have the CDT, the Continental Divide Trail that goes over the Rockies. And so the PCT actually starts way down almost at the Mexican border and comes all the way to Canada. And the John Muir Trail, it's a much shorter trail, but it's some of the most beautiful area. And John Muir was a really interesting character. He was a naturalist, and he would live out in these woods and these valleys. He's kind of most famous for the Yosemite Valley, but there's one story where he took Teddy Roosevelt, when Teddy Roosevelt was president, he took him out camping and spent time with him. And then when Roosevelt came back off of that trip, that's when they started the push for the national parks. And so it's really, really kind of cool. He obviously had a huge impact and has in turn had a huge impact on future generations, which was intent. So it's pretty neat. All right, let me tell you what's up. I have underestimated this place physically. you know, what I'm used to is ups and downs and ups and downs, which can be aggravating in its own way, but at the most you got a mile, I mean maybe 2 mile incline, and then you're going to go down or flat or ride the ridge or whatever. Out here, I mean, just like the trees and the rocks, and like I was talking about everything being so big, it's just huge. So like, for example, I talked about the most I'm used to is a mile, maybe 2 going up. Well, right now we're at 10,000 feet and been going up for about 16 miles. Now, the good thing is, I think we got about 3 miles to go. We'll finish it up tomorrow where we get to the actual, you know, the pass, which is the highest point of elevation that we'll get to. Then we'll have 18 miles going down. So I guess it evens out, but it's just, man, it's just so huge out here. And I am getting my glutamus maximus kicked. But I've learned from it. I will not come out here again without preparing a little bit better, but I'm gonna make it. It's just taking me a long time. This is Charlotte Lake. That's my first glimpse of it. That's where we're camping tonight. Pretty neat. I'm looking forward to doing some swimming in that. It's a nice little meadow out here. Well, that was invigorating. I don't have footage to show you. It wouldn't have been pretty, but I thought, okay, here's an alpine lake over 10,000 feet. I had to swim in it, and I did. Very refreshing. Didn't stay long, but got it done. And but it's just an amazing place. We're set up for camp, so we're gonna have dinner, and we just had a few hours to hang out here. And tomorrow is when we go over the pass, so looking forward to that. And that's what's going on here. All right, we are up and moving on day 3 of this hike. And I showed you where we were staying at the lake last night, so check this out. So there's the lake down there. And we're about to hit the pass. You can see the sun starting to hit those peaks. And we're going this way. One thing that's so interesting is the trees here. I mean, it's just so gnarly. Look at that. And it's like it's twisted like a corkscrew almost. I'm assuming that's just because of the wind and just the pretty intense weather up here, but it's a whole different look than I'm used to, but it's really beautiful. There's the lake where we spent the night last night. You see the sun starting to peak and hit those mountains there. Sun's coming up behind me. But it's really interesting. The trees are so unique up here. There's a rule where you can't burn or do any forest fires, or not forest fires, but campfires. And I usually don't make fires, but I'm assuming it's just because the wood is a lot more scarce up here. It's very beautiful though. We passed a guy a little ways ago, and he was he's doing the JMT, that John Muir Trail that I told you about, and he was waiting on his resupply. Now I'm used to resupplying, going into town, getting a lift, getting to a roadway. Not out here. He had to call up a mule train, and they'll bring supplies into him. And so that's really, I wish I could have seen that, but he didn't know when they were coming. So, also another thing that was interesting, there was a ranger that's stationed here, kind of a young girl, and she stays here all season. She brings in her supplies, And then she gets one big resupply throughout the year. She said she hikes 5 to 15 miles a day, just covering her area, checking on things, checking on people. And it's pretty unique gig. Not for everybody, but it's certainly pretty unique. Whew, forgive me for being out of breath, but see the poop. Those are donkeys and horses, and I'm not sure what all they use, but one of the things where I was a little naive about was I thought, oh, okay, I've heard that out here they can't have so steep a trail that animals can't get up, pack animals. So I thought, oh, it won't be that bad. Well, I was mistaken on that, but I do think it's kind of cool that, here it is, 2022, all this technology we have, and we still have to use these animals to deliver supplies and to people that are up here. Man, look at that. That's still Charlotte Lake. That's where we camped last night. Now that's a boulder field. And right over here, somebody's actually camping. See the tent there? Man, look at the size of these boulders. I guess that tent gives it a little bit of perspective. Please excuse the breathing. This air is thin up here for this Georgia boy. But here's this lake. We're well over 11,000 feet. There's a lake up here. That's crazy. It is, I don't know if the picture shows it, but it is just like this greenish blue, like in the Caribbean. Sun's just started to peek up over the ridge. All right, I have made it to the pass. This is all the way. You can see peaks, so it's not a summit. Whew. And what was so cool is I was listening to some music coming up, and my favorite rock song of all time came on, Dreams, and it's pretty emotional actually. Pretty cool. No words. You can look down that way and see the lakes. That's where we're heading, I think. That's where we'll be heading down. And this is where we came up. Oh man. All right, so we've made it over the pass. And this is Rae Lake of Rae Lakes Loop. There's actually 3 Rae Lakes. There's a upper, middle, and lower, and this is the upper Rae Lake. So not a bad backdrop for a little lunch, which is what we're about to do. Stunning. So this is Middle Rae Lakes, and I'm sure it all looks the same, but just to put it in perspective, when I was up on top of the pass, right there, that's where we were this morning. And the animals we just saw were called marmots, M-A-R-M-O-T. There's actually a brand of, I have a sleeping bag and actually some gloves that are marmot. That's what those were. All right, another day down. We found a campsite. Boys are setting up over there. This is me right here. I'm about to go jump in that lake down there and clean off a little bit and enjoy the evening. It's been an awesome day. Good morning. It is day 3 on this Rae Lakes Trail. Rae Lakes Loop Trail. Notice the dome back there. They call that fin dome. See, it looks kind of like a fin. Use your imagination. But anyway, it's pretty nice. Beautiful day again. All downhill today. We should make it to our last campsite. Got there early enough to play in the lake and enjoy the evening. It was just a seen movies and everything like that, and it's just, I've never seen all this stuff with my own eyes, so it's really very nice. But we'll keep our eyes open for wildlife and anything, try to capture on video. But getting close to the end. All right, so the lovely people at the National Park Service have made this suspension bridge. So how about, let's check this out. 1 person at a time on bridge, it said. Ooh, oh now, I ain't gonna lie to you, that thing's shaky. It's like that bridge in California when they had that earthquake. Whew. All right. I walked out there like I knew what was going on, and that thing said, hold on now. Like an amusement park ride. All right, safe and sound. We came to this creek here and the bridge was out. I tell you, that wasn't easy. It's all these rounded boulders, and I mentioned how 100 times how everything's so big. So what you would think of as little pebbles, I mean, these are just boulders. And it's not easy to walk across, but here goes Gary coming. But I think we're almost at our campsite. But this is called Paradise Valley. You can see some of the trees in here. It's just pretty magnificent. All right, this is our campsite, which is actually just right across where I took that video of Gary crossing the creek. But I will tell you, do you see in comparison, do you see my tent there and that huge pine tree next to it? And the scary thing is, a big old, well, a pine cone fell from way up there. So I hope I don't have pine cone shrapnel in the morning, but we'll see. But what was cute was there was a little squirrel that came up and got it not 10 minutes after, and it took it off, ran with a pine cone over there to get the seeds out of it. But anyway, this is Paradise Valley. There's Bear Box. So we'll see you in the morning. Good morning. This is the last day of the trip. We've been on the trail for a couple hours, gone about 3 or 4 miles. Still have 3 or 4 to go to get back to the car. But this has been an absolutely amazing. You probably noticed the weakness in my vocabulary because I just didn't have enough words to describe what I saw, but it was absolutely beautiful. So if it's any kind of encouragement to you, get out and do something, find some stuff that it's good for your health, good for just your soul, man, seeing what God has created for all of us to enjoy. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Hope everyone is well. I have prayers with all of you guys. Peace out and God bless. That's all good. So that's where all the poop comes from.